Yeah, boss, we got big problems. You better call that robot, that spot show. It's that spot bot. Breaker 19, anybody got 20 on that spot bot? ETA ASAP, over. Alright, I'm running out of bullshit content, so today you're gonna get to see the stereo install. I'm running thin. I got one more video for Friday. What's today is Thursday the 17th. And I got one coming out Friday, and then I think that's it. I'm tapped out. Well, actually, no, I got one more I can make of my garbage cans. So, we're going to install this stereo in that hole to get that stereo out. Well, you don't need these, but you can use coat hangers. It's the same as like Fords and stuff. It's got the two holes on each side. And you just put in these keys, and then you just pull the unit out. And for the Pioneer, if you were taking aftermarket, you need some form of flat keys like this. The majority of them will work. Just depends if it grips the side of the stereo with these little keyways to pull them out. But it's pretty easy to install. The hardest part is going to be running the wire. I just thought about it. I'm like, so I'm going to opt to go down the passenger side, because then I don't have to take the dash panel off again, which is tedious because every time you move and take it off, I don't have my tool to tuck it all back in again. The vinyl, which you can already see it's getting tight on there. Fuck. So, and it's a shorter run to go down the passenger side anyways. Bet I don't have better light in here. I still need to clean those lenses and the lights, but click. Uh-oh. Click. Then once you get it out that far, you're good to go, and just pull it out. Short on wire. Ew. What kind of sorcery is this? Ow. Ow. That must be the Sirius satellite, which I don't have anyways. So yeah, I cheaped out. Well, I didn't cheap out, better out. In case if I ever vacate the premises, I got a cheater kit. So even more hilarious is that it's 1980 to 88.99 Volkswagen and Audi plug. Fits the Kenworth one. So this is direct fitment. Then you don't have to hack anything up. This is a metric kit, and there's a part number 70-1784. This will be the majority of your single din Kenworth. They also have the one for I'm guessing this is the one that's got the touch display, the garbage stereo with Navi and all that stuff. I got this from Vibe Car Audio, which I always thought it was going to be expensive, but I paid $40 for both. So one will be going back. Keep a trusty razor blade. Safety first. Damn it, I didn't cut deep enough. Hopefully this is the one I'm using, because I cut the bag open. Uh-oh, it comes with extra jumper wires. So that's supposed to be a remote, which it doesn't have a remote wire. So you got, depending on style, these are all your speakers, the green, purple, white, gray. And then you got, rather this will come, I think yellow is your battery, your 12 volt constant. No, 12 volt constant, that's ignition. Red's battery. Orange will be illumination. Black is ground. Super simple, but if you're somebody that hasn't done. So after you get your little awl, you got to pick up all these tabs that hold the cage into place. You just get in there and you can pry them up. Try not to destroy the cage, because chances are someday it might go back in. Unless if you're fired. Then you just rip everything out and cut wires. Truck's going to the auction. Which to release the side pins. Just bend these out. Ooh. That's what locks the stereo into your dash. And this just slides off. It's be easier for now. I just take the wiring harness off. You have to pay attention. Sometimes they'll say top, bottom, some stereos. Pioneers are always, it doesn't matter. So now that I bent those tabs out, you bend them back in. So when you push in the stereo, it locks in place properly. Make sure all your tabs are up so you can slide her in. Is that all the way? It's not all the way. Oh, you sneaky little devil. What did I just say? So even if a guy wanted to change the head unit, but of course if you got the double din or the touch screen with nav and all that, like I hate that stereo. But if you got a single din, that's what this is called, that are absolute garbage, then I highly recommend getting yourself an aftermarket, put it in, and make your life way nicer. Even if you're like a Bluetooth guy, connecting your stereo or your phone, whatever smartphone you got. Of course, for the touch screen ones, there's ones for sale that are pretty sweet actually. That replaces the touch screen, which I would do, of course. And that's the beauty of this wire harness. So we're not going to be doing any satellite. But honestly, the next thing to do is to try to get that wire down and around to the bottom for your stereo or for your amp. Rock solid. So then it's color coded, which I still have to just cut off all these excess road train wires. So then you just match up the colors. But you want to make sure sometimes factory colors are different than what the stereo requirements are. So you always want to double check. You can do that with the test light. Just want to make sure one's ignition, and then one's battery. Battery to save all your memory, like your clock. And I might actually have to run, I don't know if there's actual battery power here with the disconnects off, because then every morning I would have to go through all my settings, which was really tedious. Set the clock, all my functions. Alright, so I got a probe, so that's a battery, so this should be ignition. Yuppers. Back in the day when I used to install stereos, at a stereo shop, it was always red was the battery, yellow. I think it all depends really right now what kind of stereo you buy. JVC, Pioneer, Alpine, some of them vary, but the rest is pretty basic. Your whites and your grays are fronts, and then your purple and your greens are rear. So to run, you got RCA wires and a remote turn-on wire. It has to come up from the stereo, through the dash, down under the sill to the back. My amp is on that side, so this is the proper side and the easier side. So the older the truck, the worse this is, but you need to like pry these off, pop out, and have more dirt to clean. You take out the screws, then you pull the sill out. They're a real pain in the ass. New trucks, easy. Clean trucks, easy. 6-year-old trucks that are been dragged through the mud their whole life, a little more of a pain. Next, you want to take off the kick panel down at the bottom, take the glove box out, and that gives you access up to the stereo. And run your wires down, be able to tuck it under the carpet, and then we'll run it back, and we'll tuck it under the trim back there into the sleeper. This one's just clips. You have 3 clips on the bottom, and then you got these clips up here that would go from underneath the glove box side, which it gives you that opportunity to get that, clean that gross. Looks like there was a resident mouse for a while. Make sure you vacuum up all the turds. Hentavirus. Dying. It's not COVID. So here's the wiring kit we got off Amazon. This whole thing was only 74 bucks. This is 4 gauge. OFC, that's the good shit. Good for 150 amps. I think I'm only running 80. Will be good enough for me. Comes in blue, red. I don't know if you can get black, but so that comes. So you get 18 feet, 4 gauge. Get your RCA wires, remote turn on, fusible link, some extra hardware. What is that? Oh, it's a 120 amp fuse in there. Score. And it is speaker wire, which I didn't need because I already have speaker wire. And I don't want to take the subs out to put in different speaker wire, and my stuff's about the same. Some zip ties that are probably garbage. And that's for underneath the truck, anywhere it might rub. You're going to take your RCAs and your remote wire. Well, I like to tape them together so they're not spaghettiing all over the place. Easier to run and they don't tangle up as much. Telephone, which I don't have.
It's still a little on the warm side.
Okay, thanks, son. Ew, that's dirty. kind of a little bbit of a sharp point here underneath this, so you always want to try to cover that up with something so it doesn't vibrate. A little piece of loom has some added protection. Oh, the dirt just flew in my mouth. You can pull your seat belt cover out. It's just tabs again. These all just pop out with a little bit of prying. Could wash this up too now that I got that out. It'd be a new truck by the time I'm done. Right now, when you put your sill back on, you can see it's got tracks. Then you always want to make sure you're not gonna. Remember when I was a teenager, it was always putting the screw back in. I'm like, oh, I cut the RCAs. Couldn't find the sweet spot. Goes together a lot easier than it comes apart. Half the time you gotta pry up. There's little grooves here and here, and then you end up breaking the plastic because they're so suctioned in. I don't know if they have some, I think it's just fit perfect so it snaps in. There's no glue, no clips, but like I say, you build up with all that dirt over years and years and years. Oh, this one's a little more tricky. You gotta pop in the clips for the under the dash just right. This part's easy. It's this one that's a bugger. See, my other T-bed that's been sitting there flapping ever since I took it over. Yummy. It's gonna have to trim off this lip here, and then it'll work just right. There we go. Ouch. Bottom first, then top. All right, it's in. It's got down. With the glove box out, hold the back side of the clip with your hand, and then I had them closed up too high, so they can be a little looser, so they have to catch the top of this dash. But definitely bottom in first and put the top in. You can reach around with your finger with the clips right there and right there. It's supposed to be a third one, but it was MIA. So there. The glove box back in. The glove box probably the easiest. It's just 4 screws. I need a fucking camera guy. I forgot the USB comes out of the back of the stereo here, and I had a hole before. Be for my plug in my iPhone or whatever you want to plug in. And I forgot to bring that, so I'm gonna have to pull that out again. Vent the stereo, which will be easy. It's just unlock it, pull it out, run the cord around. Unless if it's... No. I don't know where it is. Somewhere at home. Now for the gravy easy part. Oh, it went right in my pocket. Guess I don't even need to do that. Right, plugged her back in. Everything's working perfect. Should just test that remote wire. Make sure it's got power. Oh yeah. Alright, I forgot something at home. Remember there's, I got some tin barrels that go over top of the 4-gauge wire. Because inside the amplifier is just a machined out block. Over your remote, power, and ground. Same with the fusible link. Put it away, but... So it's just a tin barrel that goes over the power wire and the ground wire, and then allows you to just put it in the amplifier. Set screw comes down, and then when it tightens up that tin barrel, it just tightens onto that wire, because if you just put the wire in, even if you solder it, it just doesn't make a very good connection, or if you don't solder it, it just kind of goes around the screw and it doesn't make for a good connection. Knew I'd forget something at home, so I'll have to commence tomorrow. I just got to plug in the RCAs to the amp, the power, the ground, and connect to the battery, and we're golden. Already ran the wire. Power wire comes through the seat with the rest of the control stuff. Got it all zip tied nicely away from everything, away from hot spots. Well, the only hot spot is over here where there's no muffler. And then cut a hole in the back of this, and then had an insert so it's not a sharp edge. I'll show it more tomorrow. I'll show you that through this. Like that. So that's what's on the amplifier too. If you just try to put bare wire in there, it just looks shitty. And it'll just disintegrate. So I got a tin barrel that just goes over top of the wire that goes in there, and it squishes down. It's nice and tight, makes a great connection. Commence doing that tomorrow, unfortunately. Damn it, I wanted to be done today. So that's the ferrules I was talking about. Just slide over the wire. Put a heat shrink in there for make it look beauty.
Yoga, fire!
Just really fill that with solder, but it'll be alright for my application, but a pro would solder that. I'm not a pro. You always want to shrink until you start to get that to come out the backside of the rubber. It's bonding. So that'll go to the battery terminal, fusible link, and then this will go to the amp. Alright, so that's in. With the zip tie it and make it lie a little nicer somewhere. Maybe I'll switch it to the other side. Be nice if I can. Maybe I'll try to follow this on instead of have it laying there in the middle like that. Yeah, a little better. Got her all loomed up for protection. Alright, time to move the party inside. I got a little bit of light, because without it you'd see nothing. It's pretty dark in here. Not gonna lie, not a lot of space in here. So you hook up your battery wire. Then we'll have to find an earth, which is ground. Which on my road train truck I just went right to here, and it was seemed to be no problems, so I'm just gonna redo that again. Get the old trusty here. Got the right size. Alright, so there you got your power in, ground in, remote wire. I got these Haggard speaker wires. Try to find a sleeve to go on top of it, but it's kind of an awkward hole in there. It's not completely round, so it wasn't working out. So I'm just going old school, which is all it ever was before, so you just don't want to get too carried away and break the wires when you're tightening it down. Of course, these side ones are screw posts. I'd have to check those every once in a while because they would vibrate loose from the boom. Oh, my butt. Oh, I should put my seat forward. That makes way better sense. Should be all set up. I got a bass knob. I don't know if it'll work with this amp, but I got one. It's got the same end. It's just same as like a telephone jack. Go grab it. Alright, so anytime you want to make a ground and stuff, it's got to be clear of the paint. So I'm just going to make one. I'm going to reuse these holes. Then I'm just going to put big old fat boy washer and nut, double nutted on the opposite side so it's not sticking up too high. It shouldn't catch this because I know this sits up a little bit from here. All dirty again. Should have ground that off somewhere outside. It's full of shit. Put it in the toolbox. It's easier to clean the toolbox than it is to get up here. Still got the vacuum up and everything, so it would be no big deal, man. So that's the ticket. That's what you're looking for. You want shiny metal, and even that it's coarse like that, that'll even help a little bit. Alright, so I got her all kind of tucked in there. It's the grommet where it comes out from behind the seat. I'll still have to secure it inside the box. And the other wires come from behind the trim there. Got her secured in place. Gotta do some more vacuuming. And zip tied there. Everything's hooked up and secure. It's not the sweetest looking install, but for industrial, for the big rig, that's good enough. Alright, it's now a home permanently. I gotta get rid of some more shit though. Get too much stuff. Gonna have to condense the leftover like propane bottles and stuff from like when we hit the road, do some cooking. I don't know what I'm gonna do with those. Not really comfortable with keeping them in the truck, but I guess they were in the truck the whole time I was in the Peterbilt, so. It's all in and finished. I got the box all, what did I do with my flashlight? Very rudimentary, but I got 2x4s propping it into place so it doesn't slide around. Easy removal, not bolting it down or drilling holes in the bottom of the sleeper, pulling the subs, put the bolts in, so. It's all good until you roll it. You know?
Give me a break.
Of course, any audio you play over the camera sounds like poo-poo anyway, so I'll just insert something for giggles. Alright, well that's that. Any questions, comment down below. Sounds like we got some work coming up on Monday or so that's good. Need some. We'll talk to you later.